is Catherine Herman. This is my friend Carl. He's going to be my model today as I describe 10 different Egoscue exercises today for my PAS 1 certification. So the first exercise that we're going to do is the hip crossover stretch. So if I'm going to have you lie down on the ground here, Carl.
On my back here?
Yeah, on your back with your knees bent if you could.
Okay.
Perfect. And I'm going to have you pull out your arms to a 90-degree angle from your body. Perfect, with your palms facing down. What we're going to do is start off and actually making sure that the hips and the feet are all aligned. We want our feet hip distance width apart. Beautiful, little bit. Second toe matching the knee. Now we're going to just basically take our right foot, place it over our left knee, and then we're going to bring this whole knee-foot complex down to the floor, keeping this lateral edge flat of the foot and on the thigh. If you want a little extra stretch, go ahead and turn your head in the opposite direction. Perfect. And that is the hip crossover stretch. You want to repeat it on the other side and hold for as many minutes as the menu suggests. All right, come on out, come back, foot forward. Beautiful. I'm going to have you stay down on the floor. Our second exercise is crocodile today. So I'm going to have you extend your feet now. Now this exercise can be done with shoes. It's sometimes a little bit easier to do so. What we're going to do, Carl, we're going to start with your right foot, and we're going to place your right foot in between your first and second toe there, almost wedging it between, getting dexterous with your toes. Perfect. Once that's there, you want to engage your thigh muscles, keeping your toes pointed towards the ceiling, and then we're going to rotate on your left onto your left hip, trying to keep this area flat against the floor. Beautiful, really tightening those thigh muscles, and then if you can, look the other direction for that extra added stretch. Beautiful. Hold as long as the menu suggests, and then repeat on the other side. So come on out of it, foot down, beautiful. Next we're going to do standing arm circles, so I'm going to ask you to come up off the floor. And I'm going to have you just stand, again, hip distance width apart with your feeties. Beautiful. I'm going to bring your arms out. Yep, exactly about 90 degrees. Beautiful. And then what we're going to do is called the golfer's grip. So sometimes it's easier to clasp your hands, but you can actually roll your fingers over and under, and you want your fingertips to hit the pad of your hand with your thumbs up. You're making a Fonz. Okay, so come back out to that 90-degree angle again, and what you're going to do is point those thumbs forward. Beautiful. You're going to try and retract your shoulder blades a little bit, but go ahead and bring your traps down. Beautiful. And since our thumbs are pointing forward, we're going to start moving our shoulder circles forward. Now we want to think of about a 6-inch dinner plate. So if you can do a 6-inch dinner plate. Beautiful. Usually it's about 40 on each side as far as the menu. Of course, it's up to the individual. You got to make sure that those traps are nice and released. So that is the forward position. Now go ahead and come to a stop. And then we're going to flip our hands around so our palms are facing the ceiling. Beautiful. And since our thumbs are facing backward, we're going to go backwards this time. Again, same, trying to apply. Traps are disengaged, retracted shoulders. Beautiful. And you can go ahead and come to a stop. And that's standing arm circles. We're going to do standing windmill next. So if you want to come up to the wall here, Carl. And basically you're going to stand again, hip distance apart. Yep, back towards the wall. Beautiful. Heels, hips, shoulders should naturally just sort of mold to the wall. You're going to bring your hands out to your, at your sides, palms out. Perfect. And what we're going to do is rotate at the torso here, okay? So you're going to just bend at the torso, trying to keep your shoulders, head, and hips on the wall. Beautiful. And then coming back the other direction. Beautiful. And then coming back to center. So we do 5 reps of this one. And then we're going to go into the second stance. Let me show you. It's 1.5 feet wide. So go ahead and widen your stance. There you go. Beautiful. And again, rotating at the waist. Trying to keep the pelvis in neutral. Hips, shoulders, and head against the wall. Beautiful. And then we're going to come back again to center. A little bit wider stance, actually, even wider, about 2.5 feet. Perfect. And again, we're going to rotate at the hips, and back, and forth. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Final stance is going to be our original stance, which is hip distance apart. Beautiful. Heels touching the wall, and again, rotating. Perfect. Back and forth. Again, it should be 5 reps of each stance. So there's 4 stances total, 2 of the original. All right, coming back in, go ahead and relax. So that is standing windmill. So the next one is going to be static extension position, okay? So I'm going to have you come down onto your hands and knees here, Carl. Okay, beautiful. And what we're going to try and think of, and Carl's doing it beautifully, he's stacking his hips over his knees and his shoulders over his wrists. So he's already in a perfect position for this exercise. What he's going to do is walk his hands 4 to 6 inches away from where they are, and then shifting his weight forward so his shoulders are again directly over his wrists. That way his hips are in front of his knees, okay? So what we're going to do is create a slight arch in the back. We're going to retract those shoulder blades as if you're going to pinch and drop the head. Perfect. We're going to hold this position as long as the menu indicates. And that is static extension position. Awesome. So next we're going to do upper spinal floor twist. So go ahead and come out of it. And I'm going to have you be actually in a fetal position on the floor. So perfect. And what we're going to want to do is stack the shoulders, the hips, the knees, and the ankles, okay? And as we're doing the upper spinal floor twist, we just want both hands almost in a prayer position out in front, okay? And what we're going to do is very slowly open towards the sky as much as it will allow to get a good stretch, keeping your knees stacked. And if you feel like this knee is sliding and this hip is shifting, you want to take this hand and create a stabilization. And you can just put it on the top of the knee. Beautiful. And just breathe. You can look in the same direction as your arm is going. Beautiful. Perfect. And then again, to come out of it, go ahead and place both hands back on the floor, clasping the hands together to come out and coming back into a neutral position. And that is upper spinal floor twist. Next one is assisted hip lift. So I'm going to move our mat just a little bit here, Carl. And we're going to actually put you towards the wall. Awesome. And so you're going to be on your back, but your feet are going to be against the wall. So our knees are going to be at 90 degrees. Beautiful. So you want to come just a little bit closer if you could. Beautiful. Right there. Again, feet are going to be hip distance width apart, looking for that second toe, lining it over the knee, making sure the hips are all in alignment so all the low joints are there. So from here, we're going to just basically put our hands out to the side, 45-degree angle, palms facing up. Okay, and then we're going to start here with your right foot and place your right foot over your left knee. Beautiful. Now, if your hips start coming up off of the floor, it means that you might be a little too close to the wall. Carl's okay, but that's just something to be aware of. So now what we're going to do is just try and breathe, relax the stomach muscles, and press this knee towards the wall, activating those hip flexors. And very important to breathe during this exercise. All right. And that is how the first half is done. You repeat on the other side. And that is going to be assisted hip lift. Okay, so come back down out of it, down the wall, and just go ahead and bring your feet down. Beautiful. So next one is downward dog. So downward dog is actually on hands and knees. So just getting on your hands and knees. And again, stacking hips over knees. Carl's a pro, he's doing this. And then shoulders over wrists. And what we're going to do is flex our toes and basically get them to come under. There you go. And then when we do that, we're going to push ourselves up with our pelvis and make a pike position. So you're going to make a V. Beautiful. trying to activate those quads, those thighs, trying to get a nice stretch down the back of the leg. Now, as far as the heels are concerned, bring them down to the floor as much as you can, trying to have those locked elbows, weights distributed in the fingers and in the thumbs, trying to get away from those carpals. Now, if you're feeling too much strain, and because you're supposed to have a slight arc in your back, go ahead and bend those knees a little bit, and that'll give that a little extra help. Perfect. That's downward facing dog. Perfect, Carl. You can go ahead and come on out of it. Beautiful. All right. We're going to do supine foot circles and point flexes. I'm going to move the mat yet again. All right. I'm going to have you come down onto your back, lying on your back again, with both feet extended down on the floor. There you go. Just keep them on the floor. Beautiful. We again want feet hip distance width apart. And what we're going to think about with this exercise is that our toes are always going to point towards the ceiling. One leg is going to stay on the floor. The other leg we're going to bring up to our chest and basically take our fingers, and there you go, lace the fingers behind the knee, letting this dangle, again pointing up. Perfect. So now we're going to try doing circles first. Doesn't matter if you go counterclockwise or clockwise, whichever direction you want to go first. Beautiful. Trying to get all those little places, making that really full circle. Beautiful. And then come on back around the other direction here, Carl, just so that they can see what the alternate looks like. Beautiful. And those are the foot circles. And we're going to stop. Usually there's 40 of those. Okay? And then we're going to go into the actual point flexes. To do those, we're going to just do what it says. We're going to point our toes all the way forward, almost flexing those toesies a little bit, then bringing it all the way back and dorsiflexing so that your toes go to your shin. Beautiful. Again, repeat, and back up, and repeat, and back up. And those are the point flexes. So you repeat on the other side, again, doing both the foot circles and the point flexes. And that is that exercise. So last but not least, we're going to do the air bench. So I'm going to have you go ahead and get up for me, Carl. And I'm going to have Carl go ahead and remove his socks for me, since he's not wearing shoes today, because it is not a good idea to do this exercise in socks because you can slip and fall. So we want to be in our bare feet, okay? And I'm going to have you just stand up against the wall here, Carl. Beautiful. And basically, you can either do this exercise in bare feet on a yoga mat or in shoes. Those are the two options. Socks are not an option. So we're going to stand with our back against the wall, and what we're going to do is just walk our feet out, and as we walk our feet out, we're going to slide down the wall, okay? So walk down, perfect, and just until you really feel your back flat against the wall. Beautiful. So what you want is your ankles in front of your knees. You want your hips slightly above the knee, and you can dangle your arms down, or like Carl was naturally doing, you can place them in your lap as well. Hold as long as the menu suggests, and that is air bench. So thank you, Carl. You can come on out. Awesome. Thank you so much for being my model. All right. Thank you.